Hi guys, and thank you for taking a minute to check out a demo of UGO. And we wanted to take a few minutes to show you everything that UGO has to offer. So what we're looking at right now is the UGO home screen. Now, we used to be pharmacy owners for almost a decade ourselves, so we have deliberately built UGO around that mindset in a way to help pharmacies increase their profitability by giving access to information and streamlining operations. The first big claim to fame for UGO, you guys, is going to be our Medicare Part D search tool, okay? Here we have got together with CMS and spent a number of years taking the entire Medicare Part D formulary for every healthcare plan across all 50 states and coded them into a search tool. And about 2 years ago, we actually synced up with the FDA to incorporate the ability for you guys to search and mine Medicare Part D by disease state. So what's very cool about this element is that you can come to this search tool, and as long as you have a BIN, PCN, or even better yet, a patient's healthcare plan ID, you can search and see what drugs are covered directly from Medicare Part D and what they're reimbursing upfront without having to do any test claims. So, for example, let's say we had a Caremark SilverScript patient. I could come to the healthcare plan and type in SilverScript, okay? By selecting the health plan below, I now have full and complete autonomy to search the Medicare Part D formulary. Now, let's say I was running into a circumstance of rejections, PAs, or underpaying drugs. I could either come here and search a drug name, a drug class, a drug formulation type, or a disease state. So for example, if I was to come over here and say, hey, I want to see everything for the treatment of heartburn, I could enter a disease state, select it from the dropdown, then I could come to drug restrictions and say, you know what, I don't want to see anything that requires a prior auth. So I check off none and hit search. And in a moment, guys, we'll have a curated list of on and off label covered treatments for heartburn, respective solely to the SilverScript plan with no PA. As you will see from the drop down of results, you guys, I will get drug names, tier level on that plan, and most importantly, if there are any restrictions and what that drug reimburses per unit. And what I mean by per unit is per pill, per gram, per milliliter, per quantity you choose to dispense. I can very quickly calculate that over here in the empty quantity box. If we were to adjudicate 30, it tells me that this drug should reimburse about $107. Now, in an effort to further transparency and not have you guys have to do test claims to determine profitability, what we've done at UGO is we've incorporated a price check tool. If you were to click this price check button, what UGO will do is it will search the open wholesale market for you, and it will try to find you that drug at the cheapest available price. In this example, across the people that are participating on the platform, we see that the EsriRx platform has that drug available for 76 cents per unit, okay? Now, if I was to come back over here, change my quantity to 1, I see that the drug is reimbursing $3.57 per unit, i.e. that goes to tell me that I should have respectively about a $90 profit per RX on that drug. So I'm able to determine a profit delta without doing any test claims. And I can do this for any drug class, or formulation within the Part D formulary. Moving on to the next and most important aspect of the platform, the UGO community search. This is really one of the biggest features that separates us from any platform in existence, in that UGO is crowdsourced. This allows you guys to answer that $1,000,000 question, what the heck is everybody else doing? This, however, will allow you to search and see what your peers within UGO are adjudicating for any given insurance plan by BIN group or PCN. So let's say hypothetically that we are doing something like insulin pen needles, and we want to look and see if there are any more optimal NDCs on a given payer mix we could be doing for insulin pen needles. I can simply come to the community search, you guys. Under drug name, I can type in something like a keyword like needle, okay? I will be given an array of options, but I can also just select show all needle. I can come over here to a BIN, a group, and PCN, and I can type in a BIN number for any insurance plan I want to search it for. Let's say 610097. 610097. By selecting that BIN number, I can come over, hit search, and I will now be given a curated list of all the insulin pen needles my peers within UGO are doing specifically for that bin. I get to see a default sort order of frequency of usage. We want you guys to be aware of trends. It's very important that as pharmacy owners, we have an idea of what everybody is up to, where everybody is gravitating toward. Now I can look at this and I can see by frequency of usage, which is this far right column here, everybody tends to gravitate to the 32 gauge 4 millimeter needle. Well, if I come over to this light blue arrow here and I click on that, what I'm going to be given is a breakdown of NDCs in particular that my peers are using specific to that drug or item, respective to the payer mix. So now I see that, again, by leaps and bounds, everybody gravitates to the simple diagnostics NDC. Well, the information I'm given as I kind of pan across is I get to see what the average copay is. I get to see what the average dispensed quantity per RX is. I get to see what the average reimbursement has been. More importantly, I get to see what the average reimbursement per unit is. And this is something we always tell you guys to pay attention to because dispense quantities may vary, okay? Now, if something is reimbursing 96 cents per unit, I can, of course, price check it to see what it's available for on a cost standpoint. And if it's available at 12 cents a unit, well, guess what? I now know that I have a relative, let's say 80 to 82 cent profit per unit respective to that NDC. Now I can use this to search and see what NDCs I'm doing as opposed to what my peers are doing. So if you're down here, using Embecta needles for this bin group combo and you're getting 58 cents a unit, you price check that, and you're buying it at 43 cents a unit, right? Well, you're respectively leaving about $60 to $70 profit per RX on the table by simply using the least feasible NDC for that payer mix. Okay, now on the community search, I can do an array of things like searching and seeing what my peers are up to by drug formulation, disease state, drug class. I can even search by various prescriber types if I plan to make some sort of a marketing plan. I can come in and say, hey, show me what, OBGYNs are doing across the UGO community. And I can learn and see what types of medications these types of prescribers tend to write. Okay. Now, another cool feature we have added, you guys, is that you can come into UGO and do what we call an RX number plug and play search. This is a very cool element where you can come in and say, hey, you know what? I lost money on RX number 600236, for example. When you enter the RX number, the system will capture the details of that drug from your system, populate it here, and when you select it, it will automatically scroll you down, showing you details of the transaction you adjudicated. It will show you alternative NDCs from the UGO community, if applicable. It will highlight the NDC you've done. And most importantly, down below that, it will even show you alternatives by drug class pertinent to the drug that you prescribed from your peers within UGO. Now, something we always want you guys to take note of. If you see a drug in bright red on the UGO platform, that means that that NDC is an aberrant NDC, which is listed on the Caremark aberrant list. We highlight these in bright red, guys, as a precautionary measure. We want to protect you not to make mistakes in upsetting any regulations that may exist within Caremark. So please be cognizant and aware of any NDCs that you should see in bright red. Okay, speaking of the aberrant list, what we have also done is we've included over here on the left a compliance tab. This compliance tab will do two things. Number one, it will provide you a dashboard of your controlled drug dispensing. Now you can change date ranges up here, but it will kind of track month to date over the last 30 days and show you what type of controlled meds you are dispensing, who the doctors are that dispense them, so on and so forth, what percentage of your total RX volume are controlled. And we also have a tab over here that says aberrant. So for those of you that do choose to dispense any aberrant drugs that are through Caremark, this dashboard will track those dispensings across your Caremark bins, and it will show you what your RX count percentages are, aberrant versus non-aberrant, as well as your Caremark insurance paid aberrant versus non-aberrant. Now, as a disclaimer, I must say, please take this as a very, very, very accurate guide, but please do not take it as law. Always double check your PMS according to Caremark regulations. Lastly, what we'd like to do is show you guys the big heartbeat and soul of the platform, which is our My Analytics. The My Analytics dashboard that we have created for you guys will sync up to Pioneer and allow you to seamlessly pick apart your dispensing data without having to generate a myriad of reports. Now, you can come in here and you can customize your data 5 to 10 different ways as you wish, but what we have done is we have taken this entire analytics dashboard screen and we have simplified it down on the home screen into what we call the UGO workflow. Now, what we have done is taken our decade-long of experience of being pharmacy owners and essentially cut the fat, cut the nonsense, and focused out to the things that are actionable, okay? We want to make sure that the items you address using the UGO platform are actionable, profitable, and feasible. Okay. So each one of these workflow bubbles are really designed out to be addressed at whatever pace you wish. However, we do kind of look at them as a week over week addressing. And what these things will do are things like a refill management. This will conduct what we call a refill slash MedSync audit, where it will look at any medications you may have potentially missed a refill on, or overlooked, or simply slipped through the cracks on, that might do well for reaching out to a patient or reaching out to a clinic in addressing a refill. Okay, we also look at things like a cost audit report, where the platform will automatically look at your top 100 dispensed NDCs and shop them against the open wholesale market for you, trying to find improved pricing. This is something that can help you improve your profitability on your bottom line right up front, or just simply help you negotiate with your current wholesalers. Okay. We also look at things like NDC management, where we pick apart your supplies, diabetic supplies, things like this, and advise you on NDCs that might be more prudent based on the payer mix. We also look at things like refill losses, okay, losses that were adjudicated that are coming due for refill, so that we give ourselves a time window to look to see if there's a way we can improve a loss or address a loss prior to auto refilling it. There are other elements of these bubbles, like low margin reports and high margin reports, wildcard medications and prescribers, that we'd love to get into more detail with you guys on. But the one thing we want you to know is that most of the analytics within UGO are automated and done for you, and we will be furnishing those to you on a monthly basis. We would love for you guys to schedule a one-on-one with us at any point in time to check out everything that UGO can do for you. I hope you've enjoyed this demo. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me at ajay@ugorx.com. Thanks so much.